Today, we're breaking down how and why countries and regions are buying Bitcoin. Welcome to Bitcoin Bytes HQ, simple Bitcoin explainers. This is educational content only, not financial advice. Let's go. This topic matters right now because Bitcoin is no longer just an experiment for individuals or companies. Governments and regional authorities are exploring it as part of financial strategy. Inflation, currency instability, and global economic uncertainty have made traditional options riskier. Bitcoin offers a tool for flexibility and resilience, not a replacement for national currencies. It is quietly entering conversations about reserves, optionality, and long-term planning in 2025. The first core idea is that governments act differently than individuals. They rarely buy Bitcoin to chase short-term price gains. Instead, they are seeking strategic optionality, the ability to act if current financial systems fail or underperform. Think of it like a family keeping an emergency savings account. You do not spend it immediately. You keep it in case of sudden expenses or unexpected income loss. Bitcoin can serve as a digital version of gold or foreign reserves, giving governments a flexible hedge against uncertainty. Second, adoption often starts quietly and in steps. Bhutan is an example. The country uses surplus hydroelectric energy to mine Bitcoin. This converts unused energy into a globally liquid asset. It's a way to monetize resources without speculation. Argentina shows another perspective. Decades of inflation and strict capital controls make saving in local currency risky. Bitcoin offers citizens and institutions a parallel system, similar to having a backup account outside the standard banking system. Third, subnational adoption is important. Not all action happens at the national level. In the U.S., Texas encourages mining and supports crypto-friendly regulations. Florida, Wyoming, and New York have innovation zones for cryptocurrency businesses. In Canada, Alberta and Quebec attract miners with low-cost energy, while Vancouver is exploring Bitcoin-friendly initiatives. The city is studying municipal payments and potential reserve allocations in Bitcoin. These examples show that states, provinces, and cities can treat Bitcoin as infrastructure, expanding options without replacing the national currency. Fourth, El Salvador serves as a proof of concept. The country holds Bitcoin on its national balance sheet and integrates it into payments. While execution has been challenging, it demonstrates adoption is feasible. Other governments and regions can observe and adapt before committing to similar policies. This case shows that Bitcoin can be adopted pragmatically, not ideologically. Fifth, adoption exists on a spectrum. Energy resources, currency stability, political structure, and economic needs all shape strategies. Bitcoin quietly enters discussions about sovereignty, reserves, and long-term resilience. Some governments view it as a hedge, some as an energy monetization tool. Others see it as a parallel system for citizens. With that foundation, let's dive into common mistakes people make when thinking about this.
One common mistake is assuming that government or city Bitcoin purchases are all or nothing bets on price. Countries already hold assets that fluctuate, such as gold or foreign reserves. Even a small Bitcoin allocation can act as a hedge against extreme scenarios, like currency devaluation or limited access to global settlement systems. Quebec, for example, could use Bitcoin to offset regional energy or economic risks. This works even if Bitcoin doesn't skyrocket in value. Another mistake is thinking adoption means immediate everyday use. Governments often start with infrastructure, mining operations, or legal frameworks. Citizens may not notice changes for years. Vancouver is currently exploring Bitcoin-friendly initiatives. Municipal payments and potential reserves are being studied, not yet implemented. Stepwise adoption allows experimentation without forcing citizens to act immediately. A third mistake is believing adoption is purely ideological. Media coverage often frames it politically, but economic factors usually drive decisions. Countries with surplus energy mine Bitcoin to monetize resources. Nations with unstable currencies, like Argentina, may see Bitcoin as a neutral reserve asset. This perspective shows adoption is about practical risk management, not advocacy. What I wish I knew when I started is that government adoption isn't wholehearted endorsement. I assumed that if a country touched Bitcoin, it must fully support and promote it. The reality is, governments act pragmatically. They hold Bitcoin to expand options, not to champion it publicly. Another point is the U.S. Strategic Bitcoin Reserve, or SBR. This is a proposed policy, not yet implemented. It shows Bitcoin is being considered at the federal level. Canada has no national reserve either, but ETFs and regulated institutional exposure are growing. Cities like Vancouver are exploring optional municipal reserves in Bitcoin. These examples show Bitcoin is entering formal financial discussions even without full adoption. To recap, Bitcoin adoption across nations, regions, and cities is about financial flexibility and hedging. It's like diversifying savings or keeping emergency funds. Bitcoin provides optionality, monetizes energy, and serves as a parallel system without dismantling existing infrastructure. Watching Bhutan, Argentina, Texas, Florida, Wyoming, Alberta, Quebec, Vancouver, El Salvador, and discussions like the US SBR shows a variety of approaches toward the same goal, creating optionality and resilience. A tiny next action is to observe how governments and regions discuss Bitcoin over time. Language shifts often signal strategy changes before policies are finalized. That's how and why countries and regions are buying Bitcoin, simplified. If this helped, like, share, and subscribe for more Bitcoin explainers. Drop your biggest takeaway in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. See you in the next one.